Hey everyone, it's Triple Mango Threat, and today I'm going to make a deck that's only $24 because I'm going to be 24 this month, so happy birthday to me and to you. Let's jump right into it. I want to make a group hug deck because they're my favorite, so looking at the options I have, commander-wise there's Kanaios and Tiro of Miletus. But it's half my budget, and while I'd love to make them as my commander, I'll have to look for another option. Quain Itinerant Meddler is only 35 cents, and this is a great budget option for a commander. And it has card draw and life gain on it, so if I cast it turn 2, by turn 3 we're going to be doing a lot of group hug things. Edric Spymaster of Trest coming in at $2.79, which really promotes players hitting each other and not me. I still see this as a group hug deck because the colors are perfect for that. Braid's Conjurer Adept, another great budget option for only 69 cents. It's a mono blue commander, so probably more card draw than anything else, but I love card draw and that works perfectly with her, letting you and your opponents just drop artifacts, creatures, and lands for free from your hand. Sounds great. So who do I pick? Well, I'm leaning towards Quain and Braids. I love that they're less than $1, so that's really going to help with the budget, and they're a ton of fun as commanders. I'm finding that these two actually are not working. I'm thinking Edric is the best option with green involved. There's a ton of ways to ramp players as well, and it's not too expensive. I plan on making basic lands count as $0, so this is really going to help with the budget and give us more wiggle room. I'm finding that none of these options are working. The cards will be too expensive, so I'm looking into more options. Can we make Kanaios work? I realize it's almost half of our budget, but maybe there's more budget cards that we can make it work. Okay, now I'm thinking Selvala, Explorer, Return. We can make players draw a bunch of cards, and we're gaining life, so that sounds like a plan. Okay, I'm finding that there are a lot of cards around the 25-cent range, and that is super helpful with this budget. Okay, so Selvala is the best choice so far that I could find. I was able to make the deck, and it's below budget, so let's talk about it. Selvala is a 2/4 elf scout that when we tap it we have Parlay, which tap, each player reveals the top card of their library. For each non-land card revealed this way, add green and you gain 1 life, then each player draws a card. Already she's doing what the deck wants, that's helping each player draw a card. We also get mana from this if we hit those non-land cards, so a potential 4 mana when we get 4 non-land cards on top of all the libraries. And we can gain 4 life, which is helpful in a group hug deck. We can repeat Selvalla's ability multiple times with Instill Energy. For 1 green mana we get a sweet aura that can make our commander untap once during our turn. And now she has haste. Quarian Ranger, again 1 green mana, but this time it's a creature. We can return a force we control to its owner's hand and then untap a creature. This is more likely to be destroyed in a board wipe, but it's still very powerful for this group hug deck. We want to keep untapping Selvala, and this is a great way to do that. Seeker of Skybreak, for 1 and a green we get a 2/1 elf that we can untap a creature. I love all of these because they're going to be so helpful with consistently untapping Selvala. Some of the cards that are just one-time effects are Stony Strength, Ornamental Courage, and Roar of the Khan. These being one-time effects do stink because, well, it's only for 1 time, but this can also lead into more card draw, mana, and life gain. They're not great, but they're options. If we need to draw cards besides our commander, Harmonize is there. For 2 and 2 green, we draw 3. I love this, and it's a great budget option. Rites of Flourishing, a great commander card and not necessarily a group hug card, but it does give those vibes. Each player draws an additional card at their draw step, and each player can play an additional land. I really like this card, and it's also a great budget option for those decks that want to play additional lands because landfall is awesome. Horn of Plenty, it is 6 mana, but it's an artifact that says whenever a player plays a spell, he or she may pay 1 mana. If that player does, he or she draws a card at the end of turn. This can be a nice group hug card. It helps others draw by paying 1 additional mana, and we can end up casting a 1 mana spell like Quarian Ranger. Just pay 1 more mana to draw a card at the end of turn. At the end of turn is an interesting time to draw cards because now we'll have to discard if we have over 7, and we have to keep track of how many times we paid the additional 1 to draw that many. Heartwood Storyteller. This was recently reprinted and is, in my opinion, way more of a budget option. For 70 cents, it says whenever a player casts a non-creature spell, each of that player's opponents may draw a card. Wow. Definitely going to hurt a spell slinger deck. All of that player's opponents are going to start drawing answers. Ramping in the game is the usual. We have Cultivate, Rampant Growth, and this is Renewal. All of these will get us basic lands, and they're great cards. If you're looking to ramp all the players, we have Tempt with Discovery. We give the option to each player to get any land from their deck onto the battlefield, and it doesn't specify that it enters tapped. If an opponent decides to take this offer, we get an additional land that we can grab. I love this card. It's a ton of fun, especially in a casual commander game. Veteran Explorer. When it dies, each player may get 2 basics onto the battlefield. Again, it doesn't specify that they enter tapped. If we need to take care of our opponent's threats, we have Kenrith's Transformation. This is a great card to disable our opponent's commander or whatever amazing creature they have. When it enters the battlefield, we'll get to draw a card, and the creature loses all its abilities and now is a 3/3 elk. Very powerful for only 2 mana. Oblation, we can have a non-land permanent shuffled back into that player's library and then they get to draw 2. Return to Nature, super underrated card that has 3 options for only 2 mana. We can destroy an artifact, enchantment, or exile a card from a graveyard. If we need board wipes, we have Cleansing Nova, which is a 5 mana destroy all creatures or artifacts and enchantments. Hurricane, we can pay X and a green to deal X to creatures with flying and X to each player. Play of the game. It looks like a lot of mana, but it can be cheaper if a player helps us pay for it. And this is going to exile all non-land permanents, and this is a very harsh board wipe. Now there is one win con in the deck, and that is Approach of the Second Sun. If you draw a lot of cards and you're in white, this is a great option to win the game. When we first cast it, we're going to put this from the 7th from the top of our library. Now our opponents will have a ticking time bomb going, and since it's likely we're going to draw more than one card on our turn, it's going to be less than 7 turns before we actually cast this a second time to win. Thank you all so much for watching. If you'd like to purchase this birthday deck for $24, you can use the TCG link down below in the description, and when you buy it, using that link you're going to help support the channel, and it doesn't cost you anything extra. Thank you to the patrons who directly help support this channel. You can also become a $10 patron to help support the channel and see your name at the end of these videos. Be sure to comment down below and subscribe for more Mango content. I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.